The feast of the Holy Name of Mary was instituted by Holy Mother the Church following the victory of the Christian forces in Vienna on September 12, 1683, over the Ottoman Empire under the direction of King John Sobieski of Poland. And it was a tremendous victory for the Church because the Ottoman Empire once again had threatened the future of Christendom, and badly outnumbered, John Sobieski entrusted his project to the Blessed Virgin and prayed in her holy name for victory, and victory was achieved. It is said by many that the Muslims chose 9/11 for their evil deed because it was the occasion of the battle. The battle actually occurred on September 11th and ended on September 12th. So forever, these various dates and of course the celebration of the Holy Name of Mary will be tied together. And so at this moment we reflect then upon the power of the Blessed Virgin and even the power of simply uttering her name. We read in the Gospel of St. Luke how the Holy Evangelist refers to the Blessed Virgin in terms of her name, and the Virgin's name was Mary. And then the angel, being come in, said unto her, Hail, full of grace. And so St. Luke had a name for the Blessed Virgin, the name that her mother had given her, and the angel had another name for our Blessed Lady, the name that God gave her. St. Anne called our Blessed Mother Mary, and St. Luke, or rather the angel, called our Blessed Mother full of grace. And of course the two things come together. They say in the tradition of the Church, the Fathers of the Church, that Our Lady's name is taken from the Hebrew word which means star of the sea. She is the morning star, the star that announces the rising of the sun, and she does so because she is full of grace. She is full of grace because she is wholly pure, wholly created, immaculate, wholly filled with all of God's good pleasure and grace, and for that reason she is powerful. God has entrusted to her, as St. Maximilian says, the entire order of mercy, and she alone has destroyed all heresies in the whole world. She alone is the one who crushes the serpent's head. So spontaneously, throughout the ages, the Church has had recourse to the Blessed Mother in moments of peril. The earliest prayer of the Church to Our Blessed Lady, aside from the first part of the angelic salutation, is the Subtum Presidium, which was written in the 3rd or 4th century by the Egyptians and the Egyptian Christians in the midst of persecution. And their spontaneous recourse to the Blessed Mother remains the prayer of the Church. We fly unto Thee, O Holy Mother of God, despise not our petitions and our necessities, but ever deliver us from all dangers, O glorious and blessed Virgin. So we have always had recourse to Our Lady's power in moments of danger. St. Maximilian Kolbe wanted always the friars to greet each other with the name of Mary. In our own institute, we sort of modified that and have used the words of the angel, Ave Maria. But St. Maximilian had it even more simple in his own time, where the friars just greeted each other with the name of Our Lady, just Maria. That was it. And the reason was, he said, because we should take refuge in her as a little child with its best mother. He said, invoke her holy name with the heart in difficulties of life, in darkness and weakness of spirit, and you will soon be convinced what Mary can do and who her Son Jesus Christ is. St. Maximilian, when he was a little boy, was given that vision of Our Lady And from that moment on, he knew that he had to fight for her, and that he knew somehow that she was the answer to the troubles that the world found itself in. And when he was in Rome, he heard the stories of how the Freemasons were demonstrating against the Church and the Holy Father. He was familiar with the movements of his own age, of socialism and communism. He would die at the hands of the National Socialists. The modernist crisis was at hand. And he predicted that times would get even more difficult. And it was in that context that he was inspired to found the Knights of the Immaculate, who were dedicated to her service and to fighting for her cause. And their power and weaponry was basically charity, the miraculous medal, the holy name of Mary, and the Holy Rosary. And through their dedication to our Blessed Lady, many graces have been brought into the world. We know the power of Our Lady's intercession. St. Maximilian wanted to use the miraculous medal as the sign of his consecration because it was miraculous, because Our Lady, when she entered into people's lives, things happened. The devil was cast out. People were brought to conversion, to healing, and to grace. So that's what we celebrate today on the Feast of the Holy Name of Mary, which of course was instituted to celebrate the victory of the Christian forces over Islam. But the forces of evil are waging battle in our hearts right at this moment and throughout our whole life. And when we see extraordinary things happen, like what happened to King John Sobieski of Poland, we know that God can also deliver us and protect us in our own spiritual lives. For as the angel told our Blessed Lady, nothing is impossible with God. God can make a virgin a mother. He can make sinners saints. And He can save a wicked world from perdition. Let us invoke the holy name of Mary always and believe in her power, the power of Mary.